Hey, this is Travis with Scars Remain, and you're listening to Shutter 16.
Okay, well, why don't we get started by having you tell us just a little background on the band, like kind of how Scars Remain first got together.
Well, so back in, I guess it was early 2017, Kyle, our guitar player, Kyle Spadell, he kind of just reached out to me out of the blue. We had kind of known each other from the scene, being in previous bands, and both of the bands that we were previously in had kind of dissolved, and we still had the itch, and so we just got together and started jamming, and the name kind of comes from kind of similar to that, where the scars left behind from previous bands. So Scars Remain just kind of fit naturally, and a lot of the stuff that we write about is real life experience and stuff too. So it's kind of it's fitting.
Okay, cool. I may be wrong on this, but at one point, were you guys going to call it quits and then decided not to?
No. We had to take a bit of a hiatus for just with some things that we had all going on in our personal lives. We had to take a couple months and really just kind of shift focus to our personal lives until things kind of got settled down a little bit. But
okay, understood.
We were all adamant when we started this project that this is going to be our last big hoorah, and so to speak, because we're all in our 30s, and it's a young man's game. So
absolutely, I don't have to tell me that. Now you've got a brand new single and video coming out, Disease, pretty cool. So tell us about the song and kind of how that song all came together.
Well, Kyle is actually the primary songwriter on that.
Okay.
He sent me over the way we kind of bounced ideas back and forth. He sent me over some things that he had an issue with, struggle with, in his younger years, and I shared a similar instance of that. And then we kind of took it as an opportunity to really try to draw awareness to with all the addiction that we see in our society today. Somebody's addicted to something everywhere.
Absolutely.
So we saw it as an opportunity, and the song is kind of it's almost an internal monologue. So the verses kind of are the demon. I'm using air quotes here, but that thing inside you that is telling you that I'm the only thing that you have. And then in the chorus is that cry for help. So we've seen, me and Kyle and Jason and Andy, we've all lost someone due to overdose or just losing who they are, their all sense of self.
Right.
It's so we really wanted to try to drive some attention to that grip of addiction that people deal with, and how hard it is, and how it can even consume the best of us.
And you mentioned kind of how you bounce back ideas, so tell me a little bit more about the whole writing process in the band. Does everybody kind of contribute ideas? Do you come up and say, hey, I got an idea for a song, let's work it out?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how it goes. We'll me and Kyle do a lot as far as the riff writing, of course, because being the guitar player. So
sure.
We'll bounce riffs back and forth off of each other, and they just kind of evolve. And typically what we like to do is get a song pretty dialed in as far as what it's going to sound like, and then try to write lyrics to it, and then really workshop what we want the song to be about. What is the message that we want to convey?
Right, and obviously with Disease, the whole idea of addiction and how that affects everybody, but what are some of the other, things that have inspired you to write songs?
Really just the real life experiences, pain, heartbreak, we're rockers, so
right.
Rock is a sad genre sometimes, but pain and, just really being introspective and taking a look at yourself, or we tend to not try to do the I me thing a lot, because it's kind of overdone in the rock scene, so we try to write everything from a third person perspective, as if we're telling a story.
Okay, yeah, that works for sure.
And then we got linked up with the guys. I'm sure you're familiar with the band Killicoy.
Yes.
Yeah, so we work with Jordan and Sam. They're producing this record.
Okay.
They just are starting out their own production company called Pangea Productions. They actually directed the video as well, and they've been a blessing, with helping us really evolve our songs. we'll take in what's close to a finished product, and I mean this in the best regard possible. We take it in there and then they rip it apart. So which is good, because it's always nice to have that outside perspective, to kind of say, well, hey, it's a cool song, but this part sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they've really been great about helping us, dial in our process and try to pump out as much good material as possible. That we see too. I think I personally see a lot of times where bands just get in and they just write a bunch of music, and they don't really filter through it, and then you end up with an album that's got 3 or 4 good songs on it and then a bunch of filler.
Right.
Don't ever want to be that. If we want to pump out material, we want every song from front to back to be a banger, so to speak. And so it's kind of, luckily they've been stellar about helping us get to that point.
Awesome. What about the new EP? Do you have an idea when that might be coming out?
Well, we're working on strategy at this point.
Okay.
With the shift that we've seen in the industry, it almost makes more sense to just regularly release singles.
Yep.
So like with this song, for instance, we're going to run it on like a 4-week release cycle, and then we have another single that's in the pipeline ready to go. So, I think as opposed to any, we may drop, a full album's worth of singles and then do a compilation. So, we're working on strategy right now with that. With the 3 that we have, that are out now, the 2 on Spotify we're not exactly proud of, but we're in a hurry to pump some stuff out, and knowing that the quality that we're getting now, so those are probably going to be redone at some point. But so that's really a shifting strategy. We're just trying to figure out what works best, and the industry is so finicky sometimes that people just don't buy whole CDs.
No, they don't. They don't buy music, and it's an instant world where everybody wants it now, and the attention span is short. So, a lot of bands are going to that singles approach, and it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah, and then at the end of a full, say we do 6 songs, 6 singles, and then we can do a compilation of all those singles at some point. Do a collection, or whatever marketing term you want to use.
Right.
But yeah, it's tricky, and we're trying to navigate what's best for us to be able to get the maximum reach that that is necessary to even get any visibility in this business.
Absolutely. Now, who would you say has been some of the biggest influences on the band and the music that you've been writing?
That's tough, because I think every single one of us would have a different answer.
Sure.
Kyle is he's a grunge head. He loves the grunge movement from the 90s. He loves the Alice in Chains and Nirvana, and he's a big Metallica guy. Jason is older than all of us. He's in his 40s, so he grew up on the hair metal, and he's really big into Benny Paul. Was like his idol.
Okay.
Listen to the way he plays. It's almost nearly identical to the way Benny plays, or played. God rest his soul. And Andy, he just kind of is a go with the flow guy. He kind of listens to everything. He's country and all the way through. So, for me personally, I'm more into the pop punk, heavy metal stuff. The new age stuff. So, The Day to Remember, and Bullet for My Valentine, and Shine Down even, and then kind of a throwback to the early 2000s. We know our genre isn't, or our demographic isn't going to be a lot of younger folks, so we're writing music for those people who kind of came from that era.
Okay. Now you've got some gigs coming up, so tell us a little bit about what fans can expect to see when Scars Remains hits the stage.
Well, we want, first and foremost, we always like to show that we're passionate about what we're doing. We want everybody to feel that same energy that we're putting out there for them. That we want them to be able to see that, make it palpable and tangible for people. We always just try to bring the same quality that we put on a record to on stage. So expectation should always be that if you hear something on a song that we do, you're going to hear it when we play. So and then just bring the energy. That's all we can really do, and hope people feel it and dig what we're doing.
Now I see that you guys are also on the lineup for the new festival, Carolina Uprising, that's going to be happening this fall.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you guys looking forward to that and the possibility of playing for a lot more people than you normally would get a chance to?
Yeah, I think so. And then with a couple of the other announcements that we have pending, some other festivals that we've been added to. It's really cool to be able to see the fruits of our labor, kind of so to speak.
Sure.
Kind of starting to pay off, and we're really stoked about the opportunity to really reach a broader audience. We see there's a lot of crossover in our scene, with the bands that that play together frequently and hang out. There's a good the scene here has blown up over the last few years. So much talent in Charlotte, and so it's really, there's a lot of crossover. So it'll be cool to be able to get in front of some new faces, and we're really looking forward to some of these festival dates, especially Uprising being right in our backyard.
Awesome. Can't wait to check it all out. It's going to be pretty cool. Now, what's the one thing that you would want people to know about Scars Remain? Somebody who has never heard of you, never heard your music, never saw you guys play, what would you tell them?
Come in with an open mind that we're going to play. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We play good, solid hard rock music that hopefully appeals to many of people, and we tell stories that people can relate to, and that hopefully there's something in one of our songs that can touch you and help you maybe through a tough moment in life. Ultimately, that's what we're in this for, is to connect with people.
Awesome.